Hello everyone, welcome back to our Odoo accounting series. In our previous video, we discussed how we can use Storno accounting configuration and what impacts comes on transactions when we are using Storno accounting configuration in credit note scenario. In this video, we will discuss what transactions impact will occur in credit note scenario when we are not using the Storno accounting configuration. So moving further with an example, I will go into my Odoo ERP system. In Odoo ERP system, I will search for the accounting module. In accounting module, I will create an invoice here. So because before moving to the invoice, I will go into the settings and confirm that my Storno accounting configuration should be disabled. So I search for the Storno accounting here. Storno accounting here. Sorry. Storno accounting configuration. So you can see this Storno accounting configuration is already disabled in my scenario, in my case. So now I will proceed with my invoice creation. So I will click on my customer invoices and I will create a new invoice here. So I will select a dummy customer like this time we'll select as a Billy. Billy is our customer this time, and we will select a product, dummy product for our testing purpose, simple pen, and we say we are going to sell 2000 product to this customer. 2000 or 2500 products to these customers to make a difference which with the already posted transaction in our accounting system. So 20 I made 25 here and I confirm this invoice, and if I go into the journal items, you can see here my product sale account is being credited, my tax received account is being credited, and my account receivable account is being debit here due to its accounting natures. So I will register the payment and create payment. And now what when we delivered the product to our customer and customer come back with that the products were defected and he want a refund for those products. So now we have to pass the credit note here. So I will click on credit note and I will see the products were defected and we are refunded the products. So I will make a reverse entry here. So now when I open on the journal items and let me duplicate this screen so you can guys get idea what is the actual difference in Storno accounting configuration and when we are not using the Storno accounting configuration. So I will open this invoice and this is our basically credit note which is in draft state. So if I look into the journal items here, product sales tax received account is being credit here and account receivable account is being debit here. But when I look into my credit note, now product sales account is being debit here. Like the system passed the opposite transactions for the credit note as compared to the invoice one. So now you can see here the product sales account is being debit, tax receivable account is being debit, but the account receivable account is being credit here. These transactions which system pass against this invoice in credit note scenario, these pass the opposite to the invoice one. Like in journal items, the transaction which are being credit in credit note it will be debit, which are being debit in the our invoice scenario, it will be credit in our credit note scenario. So this is the difference between when we are not using the Storno accounting configuration. Now look into our invoice which I tested onto the Storno when I enable the Storno accounting configuration, and we'll see what is the clear difference between both scenarios. So I will go into my this tab and I will go into the customer and invoices, and also for search here the credit note. In customer invoices, I will open this invoice 34 because I tested this invoice while using the Storno accounting configuration. I will enable this invoice and I will go into the journal items. Same, I will look for to the credit note for this invoice here. This is basically credit note of this invoice. So I will open to the journal items. Now in invoice I can see here because in this invoice I enable the Storno accounting configuration and tested this invoice accordingly. So here I can see the journal items, product sale and tax received are being credit and account receivable account is being debit. When I look into the credit note of this invoice, so here you can see still product sale and tax received account is being credit, and account receivable account is being debit, but the difference is system keep the transaction position same as per the invoice one, but it added a negative sign with all the transaction and show this is a credit note. But when I look into the invoice which I created when I was not using the Storno accounting configuration, and I look into the credit note, you can see here in invoice is the transaction which being credit. In credit note, system show these transaction into the debit side. Like system make a reverse entries, opposite entries to the invoice one. But in Storno accounting configuration, system keep the same position of transaction, but added a negative sign with those transaction to make it prominent that these are the basically the credit note one. So now when we go into our reporting, and I will open my journal ledger here. So let me confirm first the invoice 34 and this invoice is 38. So I will go into the reporting and I will go into the journal ledger. In journal ledger, this customer invoice is already selected. So I will go into the account receivable account, because in account receivable, both in invoices scenario, both accounts are being debit, but in our credit note, one account is being showing with the negative sign, but the position is debit side, but the other one is the transaction is opposite, which is showing onto the credit side. So we'll look here. First I will search for the invoice 34. So you can see here the invoices 34 is here. In this scenario, account receivable account is in invoice scenario is being debit here. When I will look for the credit note of this invoice 009, because this is the credit note of this invoice 009. So if I look into the journal ledger, so this time the position is same, like invoice, the position of the transaction is same into the credit note, but system prominent that transaction with the red color with a negative sign. But if I look for this transaction, this invoice 38 with the reversal is 11, sorry. So I confirm this because this is in draft state. This invoice is, this reversal is now done. The reversal reference is 12 and the invoice is 38. Okay, so I will go and refresh this page again, so we can fetch the latest transactions. So if I go into the first, I look for the invoice 38. This system is showing the transaction onto the debit side, but when we pass the credit note is 12 here. You can see the system opposite, like the transaction is now being opposite, like here this is being debit, but in credit note it is being credit. So this is a clear difference when you use Storno accounting configuration and when you do not use Storno accounting configuration in your Odoo accounting module. So you have to decide according to your business flow, according to your business need. What is the benefit of Storno accounting configuration? The main benefit is when there are thousands of transactions and at end of the fiscal year you are doing the audit for your business, for your firm. So you can easily identify the credit note transaction here, because system is showing with the red color as well as with the negative sign. But if you are not using the Storno accounting configuration, system is being credit and debit. Like one account is being credit, in credit note that account will be debit. So it is very hard to identify the credit note transaction. So you have to put an extra effort to identify the credit note when you are not using the Storno accounting configuration. So it's up to you, up to your business flow, if you want to use Storno accounting configuration or you do not want to use Storno accounting configuration. I hope I clear the concept of what are the benefit of Storno accounting configuration and how transactions behave in Storno accounting configuration, as well as when you are not using a Storno accounting configuration in Odoo accounting module. If you like this video, please like and share with your other Odoo friends. Keep learning, keep growing, and stay tuned for my new videos. Thank you for your time. Have a good one. Bye.